So you saw in the last tutorial that we had this manager ID, which is right here, which is actually the user ID on the users table. Now, what if there was a way that we could map the user model to the project model so we can directly access user model attributes from the project model itself? So with order, it's really simple. If you've ever worked with a database, then you're familiar with the belongs to, has many, and has one relationship between entities. So a manager has many projects, but a project belongs to a manager. We can use this terminology to create a relationship between two models, the project model and the user model. First, we'll import the relationship at the top, which is from order.orm import belongs to. So we're going to draw a relationship that a project belongs to a user, which in this case we'll call a manager for the purposes of this project. Now down here we'll create an attribute or a method called manager. Now this manager has to return the user model. So what we'll do is we'll say from app.user import user, which is this model right here. So app user module user class, and we'll just return it. Now it's actually good practice to import inside here because most of the time you're going to have a circular dependencies between two models, such as the project model and the user model, and two classes that rely on each other are prone to having a circular dependency issue. So if you keep your model imports inside your relationship methods, you can get around that issue. So just keep in mind, if you're creating a relationship, put the import inside the relationship. Now lastly, we imported this relationship at the top here. So in order to use that, we'll use that as a decorator here. And we'll say belongs to, and this will be the local key and the foreign key. So the local key here was the manager ID. And the foreign key on the users table is the actual ID itself. This is just the primary key on the user model. So that's it. So our relationship is fully set up. And if we go back to our projects here, you can see that we're getting this manager ID. So remember, if we refresh again, we saw 35. But now we could say manager, which this attribute right here, and notice we're calling a property here, not a method. We're not calling it. This is just the manager property, since this decorator turns this method into a property. And then we can get the, let's say we want to get the name of the manager. So let's refresh. Now we see by Emily Young. So we want to get the email. And we got the email. So you see this property here is an instance of the user model itself. So that's how easy it is to set up a relationship between two models. Again, this is just a belongs to relationship, but you could have a has one relationship, which is the opposite of this, right? It's a relationship going the other way. Or you can have a has many. So a user has many projects, and you would set up the has many on the user model itself. That's it for relationships. I'll see you next tutorial.